Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Super Journeys podcast, as seen on the Pink City Twitch channel. I don't know where Sappy went. Hello, Sappy. Hello. Hopefully he's still alive. Or did the mutants take him?
He got too high. He got too high.
He got too high. Yeah,
90% chance.
It's very possible. But thank you for watching that episode. That was a gnarly episode. Pretty. You guys thought you were gonna either go to Zento or Munchipur or somewhere. Not this, right?
Yeah, definitely not. Not in this episode.
Yeah,
I didn't even know this planet existed.
Oh, really?
You know, I did not remember this. I think where did the lore of this planet come from?
I think when we were just making doing the world building, we just came up with a Thanatos planet because Thanatos was the death thing mentioned in the first season. But we didn't give much lore to it besides it being a truly deserted planet that that might have had sketchy shit on it. And I took that and ran with it. But yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. But first, I wanted to talk about that nice moment at the beginning with Bugaki and Akuma Natada. Daddy issues seem to be a recurring theme in this entire campaign. I mean, first Bugaki trying to live up to his father, and then Mikey with animosity towards his father, and then even Whiskers. I guess Whisk is kind of your guardian, but also essentially a father figure too.
Yeah. Another dead father figure.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it is with TTRPGs and daddy issues. I feel like it's every campaign ever has this shit. But yeah, I just thought that was cool that Bugaki looked to.
That's
Akuma.
true, because I don't even think I didn't even mention my Bugaki's mom. And it's so far, which is interesting.
Oh yeah, his mom. Yeah, we haven't even met her or seen her or talked to her.
Yeah, some.
It's funny though that Akuma became, a father figure, I guess.
Yeah. Shout out to Magnus in the chat. He's gonna be a guest real soon. But yeah, in regards to it being a self-contained episode, I do try to do the Cowboy Bebop, also just anime style of just each episode being its own story as much as possible with the overarching narrative. Just that way, when people tune in randomly for the first time, maybe they could just tune in and not really know what's up. Just like Cassie, who came in and was like, "What the fuck is a Bugaki?" But yeah,
it's the exact effect that you achieved.
Yeah, and someone was like, "Yeah," they were like, "Bukaki." Did someone say Bukaki?
Yeah,
I was like, "Yes."
Yeah. Also, Bogo 5X. I love Bogo 5X, and I love the art that D-Friend made for him. Perfect. I don't know if you remember. You are the one that described him, so I just went off what you said when you asked me for what he looked like. But yeah, he is basically a green meat wad with a wire.
Yeah.
But he is
actually. One thing I realized is that the Bogogos actually sound a lot like meat wad.
But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They always had.
I didn't even realize that.
Wow,
exactly what meat wad
is coming out. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I assumed that because it was a Bogogo, that's why he had that voice. So I gave him that voice, and then you described him as a meat wad, and I was like, okay, it all makes sense. But yeah, he is an example. Yeah, I just want to say that he is an example. Again, I think we mentioned this last Talkback of our level ups, creating narrative things within our campaign. So Terashima Blade, for instance, was a big one, and then Bogo 5X, D-Fran got the Asura class AI for his mech, and so when that happens, whenever AI is created in anyone's mech, I'm like, tell me about this AI. Like, who is it? Like, what's their personality like? And then that's how Bogo 5X came to be. So I don't know. I really love that the narrative choices and some of like the character and world building stuff that happens is based on what you guys level up to. And I find that like kind of to be a unique thing with Lancer. I guess with like D&D and stuff, you can have like abilities and fancy like weapons that you can get maybe that have like story elements to it. But yeah, I like this.
This is the equivalent of getting like an item at a time that is appropriate with the story.
Yeah,
I guess.
like D&D,
but we just there's no items really in this. Like we add items in.
Yeah, pretty much. I love before even getting to the Thanatos stuff. Like, and I didn't even like this was not in any of my notes or anything, but like, you guys talked about doing this, so I rolled with it and thought it was a really cool idea. You guys like sowing doubt within the people, like you guys like sending footage to the radio station, because like we said, like radio and like the news and like the culture stuff is such a big important part of like understanding the lore of this universe that you guys setting up like conspiracies and stuff for future events is very interesting. It's very interesting, and I was like, interesting that it is. This is really gonna shape how this this story is gonna unfold now.
Well, so, we talked in a previous talkback about how like the radio, the Omni News, when it comes in, it like reminds us about what's happening outside the universe. And then I guess this trying to affect that is like, oh, hold on, like we could change what's happening outside of what we could directly do, like in this episode.
Yeah. Definitely. So the concept, so just like behind the scenes GM stuff. The concept of like this Thanatos episode was actually an idea for an episode that I had. Just as like a random like one-off. Like I had like an idea for an episode where like you guys crash landed on a place, and like that was like the first like seed of it, and like you guys crash landing on a place where there was like a time limit to get out, or else like you'd be overrun by like some fucked up thing on wherever you crash landed. That was always like an idea that I wanted to play around with. And then it just worked out with the Thanatos thing, and then the Bogogo rift anomaly. I wanted to I thought it was just a good time to do it.
So if I rolled well on the piloting check,
then this wouldn't have happened. It would have happened another time.
This would have inevitably happened eventually.
Maybe if it fit, because like I wouldn't have just jammed it into the later episodes, because like you guys are kind of like once things start to ramp up, there isn't really breaks for like random one-offs, right? And this could have been like one of the Rage Against the Rift one shots, you know. True. But this just worked out because you rolled really badly, and then you guys got thrown into another planet, and
now we got Jimothy.
And now you got Jimothy. So I took that like seedling of the concept of you guys like being trapped on this, and I was like, what could be on this planet? Mutants, blah blah. Like, oh, what resulted in these mutants? Oh, like all these experiments, because we did talk about Thanatos being like a place where like experiments and like failed experiments were like dropped off to just like exist and die, and I was like, but what if one of them never died? And then that became the concept of Jimothy. More than I know that poor I feel so bad. You guys treated him like shit at the beginning, like see how mean you guys are, dude.
We're already self-loathing.
We're paranoid, man.
I know, yeah.
I remember when we were recording the episode, I was rattled because I was like, oh my god, like what did I do? Like where the fuck are we now? Holy shit, what is all this stuff?
Yeah. Even for your first interaction with it, you were like hovering way above.
I dropped the water bottle down.
He dropped the water like 30 feet up. Yeah. Yeah.
That so turned into something.
So paranoid.
Well, I thought like Bugaki, like, getting Jimothy on the ship, I thought I made like a huge mistake after that episode. I was like, oh man, Chris is gonna do some shit with this guy. He's gonna like kill us or something. And we're on our spaceship and we can't do anything. Well, and he can't die.
It's a common theme. It's so funny to me because like I'm like 2 games in, and this episode filled in so many blanks for me.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, that's why they're the way they are.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about anything, but I will say there's a very 100% common ass thing that does not change. And I'm like, I'm thinking like during my time when I finally come in, oh, maybe this is just like something like, no, they never change or learn or reflect. Like it's been the same bullshit.
Yeah. No, it's funny. This Thanatos thing could have happened, could not have happened. There were even ideas of it being on like in the toy box or like or like just like or not Thanatos. You guys crash landing somewhere originally. Yeah. But yeah, it just ended up like with like the lore, and then when I started brainstorming like all the New Union science experiment stuff, and I was like, oh, this is my chance to like explore that, and then obviously that sets up and the whole like Jimmy thing, like that sets up, that's like an omen of like the deeper plots to come. And like a lot of the lore surrounding the New Union stuff, which we haven't really talked about or explored until like really this episode. Like you guys know the shitty like people that colonize, but like what like nefarious shit are they up to?
That's actually reminding me for where we currently are that maybe we should be focusing on this stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean you'll get there obviously. Like there are threads to revisit. But yeah, I will say now, as a forewarning to you as a viewer as well, just like the mutants that you guys encounter here with like all their like abilities and stuff, like sure they're like terrifying and stuff, but if you think about it, if those are like failed experiments that were like tossed away, could that is a foreshadowing of what the New Union is planning for later episodes. So like, if those are failed experiments, then what are they working on, right? Like
we did meet a manifestation of that, but I won't say anything more than that.
Yes, you did. Yeah, kind of. But there's more at work, and like this was like my first chance to like incorporate all that. So I
didn't even think about that. This
is just a tease of like what the fuck they're up to, and you guys.
That's why we're so scared all the time. Chris is fucked up, man. Chris likes to throw fucked up shit at us.
Crazy, dude.
It's so funny to me that you guys are saying you're so scared all the time when it doesn't feel that way at all. I feel like I'm the rhyme or reason when I'm playing with you guys.
That's true. Yeah, there are points where you trust too much.
I'm so paranoid, and then all of a sudden, everything they do is literally not a person that is paranoid or scared of the NPCs. They do the worst, and I'm like,
well, we'll talk about when we get to those episodes. But I think there's a specific trust that especially Bugaki has with former Jin commanders that he'll like, and like Bogogo and like certain people that will always like supersede, I think, the paranoia and also just like show Bugaki's recklessness, which is a
threw out the window theme. When I came in. That shit got thrown out the window. Until like, I don't want to talk anymore.
No spoilers.
I don't think Bugaki is paranoid. Bugaki is he's too like,
Whiskers I think is the most paranoid out of the bunch because he has the least like personal stake in everything.
I'm imagining like a dog, man. Like a dog is looking at everything. Like when we're walking our dog, like if someone's wearing all black, like she's staring at them on our street. Like that's the level of paranoia that like a dog that's protective of its owner is gonna have, right?
Yeah, and like I think Bugaki's so self-assured and so like cocky that it clouds his paranoia sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
think the issue is
like
him and Mike, just the way the Mikey Starhand, the way Bugaki and Mikey rub off on each other.
Yeah. There are some bad influences on each other, absolutely. Although Mikey was a bit of a voice of reason at the end of his episode when he was like, where there was that Jimothy conundrum. I was like, do you take him? Do you not take him? I actually had no intention of you guys taking him, and you guys did, and then that leads to whatever it leads to. But
that is a common theme, like I said. They're like freaking. They're like Pokemon trainers. This is like a mixture of Cowboy Bebop and like Gotta Catch 'Em All.
We've been filming like we're like 10 episodes ahead, and Jimothy's fine, I'm sure. Right?
Yeah. Now you got some ideas. I already know what's going on. I got to see here. I know the inner workings of a DM brain.
now that everyone's rewatching this episode, they're like, fuck, Jimothy.
You're just feeding it. You're feeding the DM ideas.
Yeah. Stop talking about Jimothy.
You're encouraging it.
Another fun thing that happens this episode, Mike's mech got destroyed the third time. What was the second time? I remember the first time was in the first episode.
No, then the second time was in the race, and this is the third time.
Oh, the race. Yes. Okay, so this is the third time Mike's mech got destroyed. Yeah, it's funny. It becomes like a meme. Like it's just that's a thing that happens.
Yeah, it was not intentional, but in a way, it was accurate because the character, was also freaked out of what was happening. So I just like forgot that I need to move to keep my invisibility, because invisibility makes it there's only 50% chance of hitting me. Yeah. And then I just like didn't even think about it. And then from there, it's like I didn't move, and then I got attacked and slowed, and then I got structured, and then I got attacked again, and then it just
Yeah. They even they have multiple attacks too. So even if your invisibility did go through, like it was probably still dire for you.
I have high evasion, but I know.
Yeah, the last thing for this episode was that like little like teaser or like hint at something. Bugaki, you seeing in the images that Jimothy provided, that the new union didn't want immortality. Like they experimented on Jimothy and they created immortality or whatever within him, but like that was like unacceptable and bad, and which is normally not a bad thing, right? But like what do you guys think that means? Because even to like this day, like the players don't know.
I think it has something to do with regeneration.
Yeah? What about it?
Like they want to be able to regenerate, but maybe it has something to do with the rift and some whatever religious beliefs they have.
So like they're supposed to die or something? Is that the whole, like maybe they're sacrificing them? I'm just making this
open up to feed the rift and open it up by sacrificing themselves.
Yeah.
Interesting theories.
I'ma ask is a slut. She would know. She was a priest.
Or maybe oh no, I don't want to say more because it's kind of spoilery.
Yeah, that's my problem. Is I want to say stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah. You guys will know a little bit more, but yeah, I mean, like that is a thread that we haven't really gone to explore too much, even like for a while, that they don't even know. But yeah, I will say like the immortality being a mistake is an important factor in what's to come. So think on that. Yeah, it was a little nugget toward the end, and I wanted to make sure you guys remember that that the experiments that made Jimothy immortal were not meant to do that. So
okay.
So ominous.
Yeah, I guess we're not sleeping tonight thinking about this mystery.
But yeah, if anyone else has any other questions in the chat about this episode, that was an interesting battle. It was fun to throw mutants at you guys, and destroy a mech. That's always fun. But the next episode, which we will be doing in 2 weeks from now, because next week we're doing the live Rage Against the Rift stream. So tune in that then for and you saw in the chat. Sky is gonna be guesting on that the one shot. So very excited for that. So shout out to you for the raid. That's gonna be very fun. I've just last night just put together like the concept of the episode, so I'm very stoked. But so that'll be next week. So no new episode next week, but then a week after we'll return with the Dracos Terraris episode with a lot of cool arts, because that is the world of the dragons and the Dragonborn, which who doesn't love a dragon?
Gotta love the dragons.
Gotta love the dragons. Gotta love the dragons.
Dragons on these misty mountain dice.
Shit.
Whoa, is a dragon there?
Yeah,
is another dragon there?
That's in our dice.
Is that another dragon?
Oh, shit.
That's a good.
Whoa.
That's a good dragon.
Speaking of dice, speaking of dice, before we go, shout out to our sponsors, Misty Mountain Gaming. We have a little bit of an ad. Why don't we roll the ad? Roll the ad. And then suddenly, the fireworm springs from the chimney. Everybody roll initiative. Wes, do you have dice?
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I did not think this was that kind of game. Like, I can be creative. Don't worry. Once you get up, here's a shoehorn. Listen. 20-sided dice. 10. 11.
Okay, Wes, you need something that has 20 sides. Just for this session, I'm gonna let you borrow this beautiful dice that I got from Misty Mountain Gaming. But don't lose it, because this is very precious dice. Don't be a shoehorn. Get all of your dice and tabletop goodies at MistyMountainGaming.com and use the code SUPER15 for 15% off. You'll never roll anything better. I love that ad. We gotta make more of those. Shout out to Misty Mountain for sponsoring us with some awesome dice. Use the code SUPER15 to get 50% off if you also want very cool dice. Also, shout out to Retrograde Minis, who, if you saw during the combat, provided the service that we use to create the Lancer minis, or some of them. Obviously, the ones that weren't the actual art that D-Friend made. So shout out to them for gifting us a legendary subscription to their service. We do cool little ads if you sponsor our thing. So sponsor our podcast, please. I'm looking at you, voice mod. I make some cool sounds with your voice mod. But yeah, anyways, that's that. We will see you guys on Monday for the Rage Against the Rift stream with Sky as special guest. And until then, over and out.
Keep it journey, keep it super journey, dudes.
Super journey, dudes.
Super journey, dudes.
Super dudes.
Okay, bye.